So, as I told you, the first one, Yogas Chitta Vriddhi Nirodha, where the yoga is nothing but the control of the mind. Then, Patanjali Yoga Rishi, he says, Tatra Sthito Yatno Bhyasaha. That means the practice that we do, choosing, applying through an effort and doing with an action that brings some stability within us. That is the second sutras, which is most important. Then from that he says, Satu Dirghakala Nirantarya Satkara Vesito Dridabhumihi. This is the third sutra, which is again very powerful. So he says, when this practice is taken and done with discipline for a particular long period of time, then with sincere, and it should have, with devotion, then that practice will become deeply rooted within us and it becomes stable. That means it becomes drida and with a solid foundation. Then what he says, Tasya Vachakaha Pranvaha. That means Ishvara, Vachakaha is what is Vachakaha? Vachakaha is the supreme syllable that we have. So here he says, Ishvara is the Sanskrit word that we have for the pure consciousness or pure awareness. And that is represented by the word Omkara. So the universal vibration, whichever is there, that is what is connecting us all. So we are all the practitioners of different yoga. We are all connected by the Tasya Vachakaha, the Pranavaha. Then comes from that Prachardana Vidaranyambham Va Pranasya. That means the mind is also calmed by regulating the prana, which is the breath. And particularly, we have to give attention to the exhalation that he says, which brings natural stilling of the breath, and that comes from regulated practice. So we have to do pranayama, yoga techniques that can bring stability. Then another sutra which he talks about is Tapaha Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yoga. This is another sutra that he stresses upon. This one is yoga has got many parts, especially three main parts. One is training, where you do the purifying of your senses and all that. Then comes the self-study, that is Swadhyaya. And then after that comes the devotion, where we tap into our own creative source from which we have come. And that he says is Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yoga. So that from that person who is tapped and deep into that source, he becomes a supreme creativity, and from us comes whole Brahmanda. After that, Yoga Anushtanad Ashuddhihi Kshaye Jnana Deepir Avevikat Khyatehe. That means with a practice of different, practices of yoga, what happens? We remove all of the impurity. All impurity goes. And from there, what does comes? Jnana Deeptir. That means Jnana starts illuminating from within. Once Jnana comes, what comes? Avevikaha. That means, how can we say Avevikaha? That means the Viveka that can come through self-knowledge, enlightenment, understanding, contentment, fulfillment, all of that comes through that aspect. So, in the Rishi, when he's speaking about this, he says that Yoga Anushtanad Ashuddhihi Kshaye. That means that Ashuddhihi goes out from us. And from that, when we are able to get Jnana Deeptir, the Jnana comes, Avivekaha Khyatehe. Then come Yama, Niyamansana, then Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhyo, Stavan, Agni. These are the different aspects that he talks about. So we have to transcend these 7 parts when we come to the 8th sutra, the important sutra, which he speaks about in the, I think, the second chapter. He speaks in that. Yama, Niyamasana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhyo, Sthavanagni. So he talks about all of that. Means 8 limbs of yoga are there, which are the codes for self-regulation of any person or of any sadhaka. This one will bring restraint within us. So to bring restraint, that means Yama and Niyama. So you might have, understood or you have learned about the yamas and niyamas that we are supposed to follow. So all of this yamas and niyamas he brings, and he says these are important for us. Along with that, what happens? Technically, he is also talking about different postures that we have got to use, and the expansion that happens from the breath and the prana, withdrawal of the senses from the outside, concentration of the mind, meditation, and he talks about focus with a perfected concentration. So these are 8 aspects that he talks about in the yoga. And physical postures are one, but in this Patanjali Yoga Sutras, that is not the only thing, but everything is also there. And he also says that doing this, we are going to have certain badhas. So how to overcome the badhas we talk about is ahimsa, satyasteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, yamaha. So we have to do non-injury or non-harming, ahimsa, where either by vacha or by chitta or by anything. So either by action or by thought or by deed, he's saying you practice ahimsa, but then be in truthfulness, and this is abstention from stealing and other activities, non-possessiveness, where we are not greedy and all that, and we are non-attached. And this one, he says, will start creating an impact within us. And this impact, he again goes in the second chapter, he goes detail, he says, Yete jati desha kala samayan vichanna sarva bhauma mahavratam. That means in this, these codes of self-regulation becomes very powerful standard within us to live, and when they are practiced unconditionally. So mahavratam, that becomes a vrata within us. So this yama and niyama, self-discipline and practice and regulation, when it is brought within us, that becomes sarva bhauma. That means within us, that whole thing becomes a practice that is unconditionally, it becomes our very own nature. When it becomes our own nature, the resultant is what? In the 11th, most important sutra, which I note, it says, Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya Vesha, Pranidani, Niyamaha. That means cleanliness, purity of the body and the mind, an attitude of contentment, that is Santosha. There should be discipline that we are supposed to follow. We are supposed to do swadhyaya, that is self-study and reflection of any sacred words or whatever that have been told, and surrender to the Guru, and observances and practices of self-training. These are things that he has again stressed upon. With these niyamas and them, what does it bring? It becomes thiram sukham asanam. This is the 12th most important sutra. So in this, what happens? We are in a very relaxed state. There is nothing that is going to shake me, and I am in a perfect state of sukha. So sthiram sukham asanam is not only sitting, in a very still posture, but also still within our own senses, within our own, whole body. I should have absolutely no craving for anything. I should not have any want. Like what Guruji says, when I sit in meditation, I am nothing, I want nothing, and what is the third one?
I am nothing.
Nothing.
I am nothing.
Correct?
Do
So
nothing.
I do nothing, right?
I do
So there's
nothing.
absolutely no activity there. So when I'm doing nothing and I am nothing, so what is happening in this place? I become sthira. I become centered. When I become centered, then it becomes tasmin sati swasa, what is that sutra? Prasvayor gati vicheda pranayamaha. That means once a posture has been taken, in that posture, we are able to control our breath, and we are in that pranayama with that breath regulation, which is the 4th of the 8 important limbs of yoga. So he says, Tasmin, once I have entered into that samadhi sthiti, where of sthira sukham asanam, then I become swasa prasavasayor gatihi. That means I am determined by the gati of the swasa that is taken. Vichedaha pranayamaha. When I say vichedaha, that means The whole control of my emotions are there within my breath itself. My action, my reactions, my everything is being taken care of by the breath. Then from that, the 14th sutra he says is Swa Vishaya Samprayoge Chittasya Swarupanokara Ivendriyanam Pratyahara. That means when our own senses and actions, when they cease to be engaged with the worldly or corresponding objects which are there in the material world, and they withdraw, and then when you are becoming into one in your meditative practice, that is called pratyahara. So what is pratyahara? Is withdrawing everything, engaging, and cease to engage with everything outside. So now when I'm speaking to you, I'm engaging my mind, my memory, my intellect, my ego with you, and bodily I'm expressing all of this. So the 7 levels are all there within this. So when I withdraw from it and I exist only in the self form, pratyahara immediately happens. When this pratyahara happens, the 15th important sutra is Desha Bandhas Chittasya Dharana. That means concentration that happens or meditation that happens is a process of holding and fixing your mind and attention on one particular aspect. So if there is Guru, we take the Guru Dhyana. Whatever the Guru has given, we just follow him. This is a place where many people have a doubt, where Patanjali Rishi, maybe he says, fix into a point or whatever. Here, what he says is just my interpretation of this is follow the Guru. Any guided meditation that has been given by His Holiness has been completely into Chittasya Dharana. That means regarding us. He says, let go. And that can happen only when Desha Bandhas can happen. So Desha Bandhasya Chittasya Dharana is where all of these senses are let go. And I am focusing completely only on the Guru and the Guru Tattva and establishing my union with the Guru Tattva. Then what happens, the 16th important sutra is Tatra Pratyavaika Tanata Dhyanam. That means immediately with repeated continuation or being with that Guru Tattva and with an uninterrupted stream when I'm there with him, then I become in union with that Guru, in union with that person. So Tatra Pratyayika Tanata Dhyanam. That means I immediately become one in unison. I am one with this whole Brahmanda. And who is that Brahmanda? That Guru. That Guru or the Guru Loka or a Guru Tattva. With that comes the 17th sutra. That is Tat Evartha Matra Nirbhasam Swarupa Shunyam Iva Samadhihi. That means once the only essence of that object, place, or a point of focus is when I put, then in the deep concentration is when I attain Samadhi. And from that Samadhi is Tato Mano what is that? Tato Mano Javittum Vikarana Bhava Pradhana Jayascha. That means with a mastery over the senses. Now, because I have become one and I am in Samadhi, I have attained mastery over my senses, my thoughts, my action, and therefore all it happens with the quickness of the mind and with the perception that are there. The 19th sutra where he talks about is Vastu Samye Chitta Bhedat Tayor Vibhaktaha Pantaha. That means with all individuals that we are working with, who all perceive the same object. You are perceiving the Guru, I am perceiving the Guru. Rajani is also perceiving the Guru. Each person is perceiving the Guru, but through different ways. When I am able to understand the unison of all of this, yet respecting the diversity in each person, that time I transcend and become one with this Brahman. With that Brahman comes the last sutra of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, most important. Tada Sarva Varana Malaptasye Jnanastasyat Yenam Alpam. That means with the removal of the layers of imperfection that we have, there comes the experience of that infinite, along with the realization that knowledge is infinite. So this knowledge, whatever that I have got, is absolutely infinite. This 20 sutras that we have got are the most important sutras of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra in in condensation. So I just picked up a summary, and so Jai Gurudev to everybody. I just thought I'll run through a quick summary, and great that all of you have been able to be a part of this yajna, the jnana yajna of being a part of this. My humble pranams, my humble, namaskars to everybody. Each one of you should live to be an apostle of the Guru.
Can we take some questions in case if they have?
Definitely.
One question I think we have got is from Nitin. He was asking, when first Maharishi Patanjali started to share the Yoga Sutra, he was strict with discipline. He burned all his students to ashes when one of his students broke the one rule by seeing Maharishi's physical form. So does any such disciplinary action apply to us now? When we break the one rule of commitment by missing a day or two listening to Yoga Sutra. So if we miss the Yoga Sutra 1 or 2 days, will that affect us also?
Not at all. See, we Patanjali Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras and the Patanjali Rishi himself. In fact, in one of the apostles, he says, what is discipline? You have to have a want to be on the line. So if you are, let us say, deviating and then getting out of this whole thing, then come after 1, 2 months, 3 months, you do sporadic activity, that is not entertained. But if there is an emergency for which you are having to miss 1 day, 2 days or whatever, it is absolutely okay. You come back and then be steadfast on that path. So if you have left a sadhana on one particular day, continue with the sadhana after maybe the 2nd day, 3rd day. I'll give you an example. I was there with Guruji once, and there was flooding that was happening in Kurnool. So we were there in Bangalore ashram. Our advanced course had just completed, and we were all into that sadhana mode, doing our sadhana daily. Then, we had taken sankalpa that we will not break. New people had joined us, so 90, 120 days we had taken that we will continue. Guruji came and he said, we want volunteers to go and take care of people who are flood affected people in Kurnool. So immediately we had to run there. But when I'm there with my team of volunteers, I didn't have place where we could do sadhana. For 3 to 4 days, we were only running between pillar and post, trying to protect people, moving them to some shelter or taking them to a place where there is no flood, whereas there's no rain. Then we were all thinking, what happened? Oh, Guruji, we missed. 5th day, we went back to the ashram. Guruji says, that itself was your sadhana. Continue from the 5th days. Wo 4 din, hum tumhare liye sadhana kiye. That's what he said. Are you getting me? That 4 days, I did sadhana for you. 5th day, you just continue. No more blessings are required. Are you getting me? So your intention is what is most important. To be on the path, that values more than, unnecessary discipline. I hope I was clear, right?
Yes.
So we have to be just steadfast in this. And in the Yoga Sutras, the yamas and the niyamas for us to follow. The yamas and niyamas are very, very important for us to keep in tidy. So we also, when we follow all of these yamas, one thing is important is what we can take. So take one by one of those, for truthfulness for that matter. If you're a businessman and if you're going out and you might have to sometimes talk some, false thing here or there or whatever, false commitments may need to be given. So in those places, you just keep that awareness. Where is your awareness? Is your awareness on the truth or is there awareness on this? This clarification was given by Kashi Bhaiya when he was telling is in the Mahabharata war, when Yudhishthira was asked and forced to tell a lie. So when Ashwathama Hataha Kunjaraha was the thing that was the, thing he had to utter. And Bhagavan himself had told him, go and tell. So Dronacharya was listening when he says, Ashwathama Hataha Kunjaraha. So that time, Yudhishthira put his focus on the truth. He was looking at the elephant which died, But the person who heard at that time was thinking that it was own Ashwatthama who died. Are you getting me? So the truthfulness, whichever is there, it does not break your sankalpa. It does not break your swadhyaya. So your intention should be there. Your intention is to earn money. Intention is to ensure that your people, whoever are there, who are working for you, they need to sustain properly. You have a family who needs to be taken care of. There are people who are dependent on you. You can't come as a householder. I cannot come and say I'm going to do sannyasi. It's not possible, right? So the yama and niyama are flexible, but they should not be broken willfully. That is what is the most important thing that we have got to learn from this.
One more general question that I just got, it is like when we do meditation, some days it doesn't feel to be complete in concentration. It happens even when we are doing meditation constantly from 6 months. Why does so?
I didn't get to the 6 months. That one.
So continuously 6 months doing meditation, but still sometimes doesn't feel like it is complete.
Very nice. If you have listened to Guruji, what Guruji says is there are people, when we do our sadhana, when we practice, they go on for a period of time. Most of the time, know for certain that any practice, any sadhana, any meditation that you have done never goes waste. All of the sadhana is taken by they can be your pitras who are there, who are your ancestors. All of that goes to their settlement also. So it is like you are born with a loan. Let's say you started, most of them would have taken a student loan and then they start to go to work. Agreed. There are certain people who have not taken a loan and they go to work. The person who has taken a loan and going to work, his salary will be very less. Why? Because most of his salary will go to repayment of the loan. Am I clear? So he will have a feeling, I am only having 1,000 rupees in my end of my month. What does it look at, Rajini, she is having 10 lakhs in her hand. For me, all my money is going here and there. Santosh will have a feeling. But Santosh is also earning 10 lakhs. She is also earning 10 lakhs. For Santosh, that money is going to repay the loan. Whereas for Rajini, that money is going to the savings account. Once my loan is over, then what happens? That money starts falling into my account and we start getting or accruing an interest on top of it. So it's very simple. No activity that you do, any meditation or whatever that you do, your sadhana or whatever that you do, never ever goes waste. Never ever goes waste. Only thing, be devoted in your sadhana. Say that I am going to do it, with 100% dedication, and with the dedication, keep surrender. And when you are there in that surrender, what happens? You are there one, with the Supreme. Are you getting me? That is there is somebody speaking. Can you please mute yourself?
Manjunathji, Santosh.
So I think we have one more question. Guruji, how to adopt discipline in every part? How to adopt discipline in every part of our life, personal, professional, social. Also, food is having what percentage of impact on a sadhana? It all has a lot of impact. Okay. First, be comfortable in your, practice, whatever that you do. Don't impose something and say, this is how it should be. So for instance, I will only look towards the northeast. I will keep my cross-legged. I'll keep my leg like this. I'll touch my ear from here. Don't put any conditions or whatever. Know who you are. Okay. How much you can do, that much only you start first. Then what you will do is every week, push yourself a little bit. So till yesterday, I was doing so much. Today, I will do a little more. So when I'm doing a Padma Sadhana, till yesterday, I was doing, little bit. Let me take 10 breaths instead of 6 breaths or 7 breaths. Are you getting me? Slowly, that stretch must happen. And should happen over a period of time where you are feeling comfortable. Are you getting me? God is not going to come and give you mukti because you did 100 sit-ups holding your mouth or holding your nose. That is not important. What is important is while doing that activity, how much you are in swadhyaya and how much you are in unison. Are you getting me? So whether it is personal, professional, social, we have to be in unison. So that is discipline. I will not cheat people, whether it be in social, professional, or personal. Similarly, I will not speak untruth, social, professional, personal. That way we should practice. Similarly, food, ensure that we are having sattvic food. Food is very good food, normal food, which is cooked very nice. You know, where they say, Guruji says, know the cook, know the ingredients that are going into the food items. Number 3, look at the food on the plate that is being served. Look at the person who is serving that food. Number 5, look at the people with whom you are eating that food. And then with all gratitude and humility, accept the food that is going inside. So when your dhyanam is on all of this, what happens? That's why we say, no, annadata sukhi bhava. So anna, that means that person who has not given, we don't know. That's why we say when we are doing Archana to Shiva, we say annam annama evacha. That means I don't know where that Shiva is. Is he in that one drop of water? Or is in that one grain? Or is in all the food which is there in front of me? So Shivan இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு தத்துவம் எதுக்குள்ள இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு எங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. In which tattvam he is there, I don't know. Right? So for me, what I will do is every simple thing whichever comes to me is my Shiva. That is the sadhana, and that should be the yoga. When you are there, then it comes with complete from the heart, you know. There's full acceptance when it comes. And so there's one more question. It says, when I do sadhana, I just get lost in thoughts and forget about the breath. Absolutely okay. Don't worry. Don't take too much tension. We have to get lost. That is why we are all doing all of this. Correct. Our purpose of sadhana is to get lost, but at the very same time, bring and rein back a little bit. Agreed. So too much thoughts are there. Then one, pay attention to the food that you have taken, what food you have eaten, and what sort of thoughts are there. If you have learned Sahaj, practice Sahaj. If you have not learned Sahaj, immediately call Rajni, tell her, please teach me Sahaj. Okay, get into that. Sahaj is a very important program that people should do. And if you have done the Sayyam course, in that Sayyam course, there's, I think from the 19th, we have one Sayyam course that is happening in Mysore. I think it is happening in Mysore. Please do the Sayyam course. The Sayyam sadhana with Patanjali Yoga Sutra is very powerful. You know, so how much ever possible, if you can take it up, please take it up. Was it helpful?
Yes.
Sure. Very happy.
Narayana. Jai Gurudev.
We are really grateful to have you. It was a wonderful knowledge session. We'll have more session with you in the coming future, where people can completely ask the questions to you and they will get answers.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Santoshi, we are so fortunate to have you. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Thank you.
Naguroradikam jnanam. Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Very good.
Jai Gurudev.
So now we have